Good morning, children, and welcome to the class of English. Today, I, Pankaj Singh Thapa, PGT English, welcomes you all. And today, we are going to discuss something from the time when our country, India, was in the clutches of British Empire. And you know very well about the tyranny of that empire. Children, we are here talking about the Iron Pillar who revolted against that vast empire. And if we talk about the weapon of that thin, speedy man, that was non-violence. Yes, children, I am talking about Mahatma Gandhi, who, with his only weapon, drew out the Britishers from this country and made it independent. Children, we are going to discuss today the chapter Indigo, and in this chapter we are going to study about the struggle of the sharecroppers of Champaran in Bihar. And before we start discussing all these things, let's study about the author who has written this chapter. So the author's name is Louis Fisher. He was born on 29th of February 1896 in US, and he passed away on 15th of June 1970 in US. He was an American journalist. If we talk about his notable works, the children, his notable works are mainly concentrated on Mahatma Gandhi. And first work, The God That Failed. Second, that is Life of Lenin. And third is Life of Mahatma Gandhi. Children, he was awarded a National Book Award for History and Biography, and that is non-fiction. I have told you the difference between fiction and non-fiction. So children, let's come back to the chapter. If we talk about this word indigo, what is this indigo? If you will study the historical things in Hindi, indigo is termed as Neel, and it was named as Neel ki kheti. All right. So that is indigo is a dye which we generally use, children. Ujala Supreme that comes in the market, and the white cloths, if you dip once in it, they become more bright. So children, indigo now is synthetic. Now it is made from chemicals, but earlier it was taken out of a plant. And the chief quality of the indigo is that if it is grown in a farmland, you can't grow any other crop in that farm because it absorbs all the nutrients from the soil and it leaves the soil barren. Only indigo can grow there. So that was the chief quality of indigo. Now, the chapter emphasizes that the effective leadership of Mahatma Gandhi, and remember, by using non-violent methods, made the sharecroppers, the word, why I'm not using peasant or farmer. Actually, sharecropper means the owner of the land is someone else, and the sharecropper is the person whose sole task is to grow crop, and in return, he used to get some amount of food and meager amount of money. So the sharecroppers were there in Champaran, that is Bihar, and they were in the clutches of British. tyranny. Now, Gandhi solved their problem in an organized way, and you know what? Britishers compelled them. They compelled them to grow indigo on 15% of their land. They could not grow, food crops. 15% of their land would be utilized in growing indigo only. But when Germany he developed a synthetic dye, then you know what they demanded, that the farmers should give compensation to Britishers. See what a contrast. The person who is growing crop and supporting the Britishers, those who are making them rich and wealthy, they have to give compensation for not increasing their wealth. It's kind of satire, children. So Gandhiji revolted for them. Let's see how it all happened. In 1916, Gandhiji was in Lucknow to participate in the annual session of INC, that is Indian National Congress. There he met a person from Bihar, that is Rajkumar Shukla, and he invited Mahatma Gandhi to Bihar. He told that, sir, the poor need you there very badly. Gandhi promised Rajkumar Shukla that, okay, I'll be there and I'll help out and solve your problems. Anyhow, one time Gandhiji reached there, and there, when he was told by everyone that the farmers, exactly sharecroppers, their woes are unsolved, he promised them to solve. One day he heard of news that one peasant has been mistreated. So next day, he sat on the back of the elephant and started a march. He was stopped by the British administration, and he just obeyed it, and then an order came from the British government that you must quit Champaran quickly. Gandhi signed it and said, I am going to disobey your order. Then he was asked to appear before the court. Gandhi then sheeted away all the lawyers who were actually, in fact, Indian lawyers, those who were working there. Gandhiji sheeted them that why they are just unmoved by the woes of the farmers, why they are not taking any action, why they are not fighting court cases. The lawyers got ashamed. He then contacted Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India, and he was a well-known lawyer also. So he contacted Rajendra Prasad, and then they fought case. Unfortunately, the efforts of all the lawyers and Gandhiji turned out to be success. And thereby, the British government agreed to compensate back the sharecroppers from whom it demanded compensation. Gandhiji asked for 50% compensation, but British Empire agreed on 25%. Gandhiji said yes, because his sole task was to let down the prestige and pride of Britishers, who were very proud. So, in this way, Gandhiji won a battle against Britishers. Children, that battle for the sharecroppers about Indigo turned out to be a turning point in the life of Mahatma Gandhi. It gave him new courage to fight for the complete independence of India, that is Purna Swaraj. So, children, this chapter is very interesting and it will give you an insight about the freedom struggle of India, how even the common man of that time was filled up with a fervor that he has to lay his life for the country. And this thing will fill you, children, from inside to do something from for your country. Because today, although every year on 15th of August, or you can say national festivals, every national festival, we vow to work for our country. But that vow or the promise is kept for only that day. Later on, we forget everything, we litter everything, we break the government property, public property, we do every kind of revolt, which is illegal, every other thing we do to put down the country. So, children, this chapter teaches you that what the leaders of that time thought for their country when it will become independent. So, are we realizing their dreams or are we shattering their dreams? That is the main question mark which you will find while you read this chapter. Children, that's all about the introduction and all these things about this chapter. Hope you will get some idea about it. The rest explanation and other things will continue in the next part of the videos. Till then, thank you and goodbye.